Hello, welcome to my channel. I am making another Storytime video. Yes, if you read the title, I did have a sugar daddy and it did not end well. And I'm going to tell you the story. I don't know if y'all know, but there is a website online that is called Seeking Arrangements, and it is where you can find sugar daddies to potentially give you money. And I was very skeptical about it. I, at the time, just needed money and I wanted to have some money and see what it was like. I was a big talker in high school, but like, oh my god, like I'm going to have a sugar daddy and like he's going to buy me everything. And like, I'm not gonna fucking work. So I was very prepared to like be like, I'm gonna have a sugar daddy, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to have a sugar daddy, I'm gonna take all his money and I'm just gonna like run with it and like be super rich. Didn't really work like that. So I was scrolling through this fucking app for like ever and looking at all the people. Most of the people I did, they seemed fake or they had like 20 bucks in their account and they just wanted to like poo on camera and like they'll send you $30. And I was not about that life. So I finally found somebody who was in my area from New Orleans and started talking. He was around like 70 years old, so you know, an older gentleman, and he had money. The whole fucking point of me being on the app, right? So we start talking. He tells me like what he's interested in. I tell him what I'm interested in, how things are gonna work, and he gives me his number. So I start texting him. When you go and seek arrangements, you have to have, you can't put your name as your thing. It's very like confidential like that. So I put, I'm not gonna say what it is, but I put the name because I'm not on the app anymore. I have a boyfriend, he takes good care of me, so I don't need a sugar daddy anymore. So I start texting him, I tell him the fake name that I am, I say, hey, it's this, and we just start talking. So like most of the time I honestly think it's fake and you know, he's not gonna like do anything and he's like, oh my god, like I'll send you $5 if you show me like your butthole, and that's gonna be it. Also mom, if you're watching this, I'm so fucking sorry. I suggest my family members not to watch this. So he did it and talking and he said, hey, do you want to send me some photos? And I said, sure. How much you're gonna pay me? And he told me he was going to pay me $100 to send him pictures. So like any good hooker, I was like, okay, like that's easy enough. Like $300 for just sending a photo like of me, like that's fine. And I didn't put my face in it or anything, so I was pretty in the clear. I took the photos, I sent it to him. Sorry, morals. I'm so sorry, mom, don't watch it. And I sent him my picture and he Venmos me $100. So the guy was legit. I was like, okay, cool. Like you just have $100 to like send this guy like you don't know. And I was very, very excited. I was like, bitch, I have a sugar daddy. I'm gonna go get my Louis Vuitton bag right now and just live in this moment of I'm a fucking sugar baby. I was like, I gotta tell all my friends that were like, you won't do it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, bitch, I got a sugar daddy now. And this is the video because I really have not told any of them that I have a sugar daddy. So here's the story, sorry. So after a while, like he stopped talking to me, I stopped talking to him. I would send him like a photo every now and then, like not like naked. I would just be like, hey, like I'm still here. So he asked me to go to coffee with him. So I was very like, okay. I was weirded out at first because, you know, you're meeting a stranger, but it was in a public place. We were going to Starbucks. He was in New Orleans at the time, so I went to New Orleans and drove there. People are gonna be around, so I'm not that worried about it. So I go and I meet him at Starbucks and I see him and things go okay. We get coffee, he pays for the coffee, he says I look attractive, and I was like, thank you. You look like my grandpa. He didn't look like my grandpa, but like you're as old as my grandpa. So it was just a casual thing. He tells me what he does. He owns some construction company, and I was like, okay, cool. Like you got money, like I know that. He lives on the French Quarter, but he also has another house in Kenner. So I was like, okay, cool. Like yeah, 2 places, like cool. So he tells me he would really like to see me more, and he wants to pay me to go to dinner with him. I was like, all right, like what are we talking? Are we talking thousands of dollars? Am I gonna be an escort now? Like what is my gig? He said he was gonna give me $300 to go to dinner and just hang out and be with him. And at the end of the night, after we have dinner and kind of hang out for a minute, he was going to pay me. And then I could go home and we'll see what happens there. So I thought that was a really good deal because like I'm just going to dinner with the guy. He already paid for my coffee. He did not pay me to go to coffee, but he paid for the coffee. I was pretty okay with that. I didn't really care. I met the guy. He didn't look like a serial killer. We were in public. I'm alive still. It's great. So I left Starbucks and I went back home. I was very nervous because I was like, okay, like if I'm out in public, like if someone sees me that I know, like they're gonna be like, why are you with this old man? Like I was very like nervous of like looking like a hooker. I was also 19 at the time. I'm 21 now. So this was a few years ago and I was younger. So I was very like nervous. I was still living at home. I had to lie to my mom and be like, oh, I'm going to New Orleans to meet a friend for dinner. She's like, okay. So the night comes, I'm all ready. I get up in my like, what I think is like the sluttiest, nicest looking clothes that I have. Kind of like, be like, oh, you're on a sexy date with a hot young fella. No means do I think I'm hot or attractive, but like, man's paying me to go to dinner with him, so I must be a little bit fuckable. So, you know, whatever. So we go to dinner. It's this really, really nice place in New Orleans. It's super like high class, very bougie. I was very out of my element because I was like, I eat ramen, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I am poor as fuck. I don't know why I'm here. But, you know, I was there to be with him. So we sit down, we have dinner, we order glasses of wine. They don't card me, thank God. And I'm drinking wine. So at this point, I'm like getting loose and I'm like, all right, I'm ready, hold on. So then the conversation starts to happen. I'm already here. I'm already gonna get paid $300. He already gave me $100 because I'm a smart businesswoman. I did ask for $100 in advance just to prove, like, I don't want to go to dinner with you and then you stiff me of not making money. I know that sounds so bad. I sound like a prostitute. I am so sorry. So at first we were having a very decent, normal conversation. Nothing got too weird. He was telling me what he did. Like most, I feel, rich men who are on this website like to boast about their money and what they do and how many homes they have and how big their dick is, you know, the basic things that sugar daddies like to do. And I was just sitting there just like slurping it up like, okay, like, yeah, like you're fucking amazing, like you're so good, oh, like you're so rich, oh. Just like kissing his ass because I wanted my money and see how far I could take this. So we go through the whole dinner, normal conversation. He asked me, hey, do you want to go and walk around the park? There was a park like 2 miles down where we were. So I was like, okay, like let's do that. I was a little skeptical because I was like, it's nighttime. I don't really want to go to the park, but I'll get paid. I'm sorry, I'm fucking stupid. Like I could have got murdered. I get it. So I did it. He pays for the bill. It was very expensive. I didn't really see it, but like I looked at the menu and I was like counting to like see how much like he was gonna pay, like spend on me, you know. You know, my conceited ass, I was like, how much is it gonna spend on me, like it's a seeking arrangement state. We drive to this park and we kind of like walk around for a second. We sit on a bench and he hands me the $200 that he promised me because he said 300. He paid the 100 and before I went on the date and then the 200 after. So all in total, I got $300 to go to a dinner date plus another 100 for the pictures I sent. So out of this man, I already got $400. So I was pretty good. I was like, bitches can pay my rent for a month, so I'm good at that. Then the conversation gets a little bit, I am like so embarrassed to tell the story, like I can't even deal with it. So he asked me, have I ever like been on a secret arrangement date before? And I was like, no, like you're my first one. I should have lied. I should have lied to seem like a pro, but I was nervous and I was like, no, I've never been on a secret arrangement date. He said, oh, that's really sexy. Like, you know, I like to have a fresh meat and a boy to spoil and take care of. And I was like, okay, like, thank you. Where's this going? Can I leave now? By the way, side note, I did take my car there. Like, I didn't get in the car with him. Like, we took separate cars just in case something weird did happen. I could leave and drive my car home. So I'm not a total dumbass. So he asks me, he wants to know if I want to go to his place in the French Quarter. I, at first, was very nervous, so I said no. I was like, I don't want to. I don't feel comfortable going to your place right now. Maybe another time. He said, okay, I totally understand. And I got in the car and I left. While I got home, I was like very nervous. I was like, okay, like, is this what I should do? Like, I had the money. Like, it made me feel really gross. Like, I know I talked a big game and be like, oh, I don't care. This man like gives me money, but like, you do kind of feel degraded a little bit when you're taking someone else's money for just like doing something like that. Like, just going to dinner and like, you know, like you're not attracted to him, you're just doing it for money as like a job. You do feel like a little gross inside. I definitely did, but I was determined to have money. So once again, we're texting back and forth and he says, do you want to come to my apartment? I said, I don't know, like I still feel weird about it, like I'd rather go somewhere public. He was like, well, I'm having a party this weekend and I'm having a few friends over. Would you like to come? There will be people there, and also it's in the French Quarter, so you could easily go outside and, you know, see people if you don't feel as comfortable. And I said, okay, I'll do that then. I'll go. And I did. So I dressed up again and like as slutty as I could look. You know, I had tight jeans on, slutty underwear, like this shirt that's like really tight, like just looking like a total prostitute. I mean, as much as a boy can look like a prostitute, I looked like a prostitute. So I go there, I get to the apartment in the French Quarter, and it's a really, really nice apartment. It's upstairs, there's a balcony over the French Quarter, and like it was decorated really pretty. There was like paintings everywhere and like a nice like tiny little chandelier. Like it was an apartment, so it was a tiny little chandelier, and they had like the basic gay like rug with like, you know, like the basic gay like white shaggy rug. So I go in, there are a couple friends of there, there's a girl and a couple other guys. So I kind of felt safe with the girl there, even though like she could totally fucking kill me too and like skin my body and like they could all wear it. I get it, but I felt more comfortable. So they asked me for a drink. I said I would like to pour my own drink because I'm not that fucking dumb. I'm street smart to a certain extent, and I was like, no way that I'm gonna let someone else get my drink. So I get to go, I get to make my own drink, and then I sit down. So we're all kind of sitting down, we're talking. His friends asked how we know each other. He lied and said like we met at the park that we were at previously, and I was like, okay, weird. He was kind of pretending that we were a thing, like we were kind of like dating, if that makes sense. His friends looked so fucking confused. Like they were like, dude, like we know like this 19-year-old isn't gonna date your 70-year-old ass and like not want something out of it. So like they also looked at me like I was in it for the money, which I was, but he was making it seem like we just like met at the park and we fell in love, and you know, it was love at first sight and I just wanted to date this man, which was not true like at all. But like he made it seem like that, and I was like, okay, great. Now your friends think again I'm a fucking gold digger, which I am, but like I feel like a gold digger is someone like you would just marry. Like this is a sugar daddy, like I'm a sugar baby situation, so like I don't really know like what this would be classified as because I wasn't pretending to be in love with this man. Like we knew where we met and it was for a sugar daddy thing, and I looked like a prostitute. So as the night went on, I got drunker and drunker, they got drunker and drunker, playing their music or whatever, and I was there. So as the night went on, the guy got a little handsy with me. He was kind of like rubbing my shoulders and, you know, putting his hand on my back and kind of going lower. Every time he did that, like I pulled him up because I did not feel comfortable with that. I didn't want this man to touch me like that without my permission or without paying me first. It sounds so fucking awful, but like, if you want to touch me, like, give me like $10 every time you do it. He was really drunk. And then also, I was drunk, and I told my mother that I was sleeping at a friend's house this night in New Orleans because one of my friends had previously moved to New Orleans because we went to beauty school together. She had a house, and I said I was gonna go stay with her. We were just gonna hang out at her house. I was already having to sleep over at this man's apartment, but there was multiple rooms. So I was like, I felt a little, oh God, I sound so stupid. There was a room that I could sleep in that he said I could sleep in on the couch. Like, you know, I wasn't planning on sleeping with this man, but I was staying the night there. Now, in our agreement, before I even came to the party, he said he was gonna give me money. He didn't tell me how much money, but he told me he was gonna give me money for just coming to the party. There was gonna be free drinks and food and other people there, and he paid for like my gas and stuff. So he was gonna give me money to like come and be his thing, his keychain at his party to show off to his fucking friends. So as the night went on, most of the friends left and it was me and him by ourselves. And I was like, okay, I'm tired. Can I go up and sleep in the other room now? He said, hold on, like I want to talk to you. He said, hold on, like I want to talk to you for a second, like let's talk about your payment. I said, okay, cool, like I'm ready for this money, like maybe he's gonna give it to me now before like I leave, and maybe he's drunk so like he'll forget that maybe he gives me more than he thought he was going to. No. So this man tells me that he will give me an extra $500 than what he was already gonna pay me, which he didn't say yet, but I'm gonna tell you all at the end. He said he was gonna give me an extra $500 to go and tuck him into bed. Ugh. I didn't want to say this story anymore. So I agreed because I was like, okay, I could tuck you into bed. Like I could put the covers on you and do that whole thing, fluff your pillow, you know, like spit on your face, like whatever you want. Like $500, like that's a lot of money for like tucking someone in. I was full for it. Like, would you not do it? Would you not do it, ma'am? Sir? Whoever you are. So I did. So we go into his room and I'm ready to like, for him to like lay in the bed and I'll tuck him in and then I will leave and go sleep in the other room that was prepared for me. Well, he says that he has to go to the bathroom real quick and change into his night gear, and I said, okay. So I'm sitting there waiting. I'm out of the bathroom, and he was in there for probably like 10 minutes, I don't know. And he comes out butt-ass naked, you know, raisin balls and all, and I'm like, whoa, did not need to see that. Oh, God. Yeah, I was like, I really can't do this, like, at all. Like, I could never. So he comes out. He's not just naked. So he comes out and he's naked and he's wearing a wig. He's wearing a wig and like these little Debbie Scooter heels. And he's like, all right, daddy, I'm ready for you to tuck me into bed. I almost died. Now, I'm all for like drag queens. Obviously, I am one if y'all saw the last video. But if y'all could imagine a grown man, 70-year-old man, coming out in a blonde, sleek, like Hannah Montana wig with these little fucking like old lady church heels, butt ass naked, and it says, hey daddy, you ready to tuck me into bed? I think he would throw up too. So I kind of chuckled awkwardly and was like, not now. Like, I was like, I don't know why you're wearing a wig and stuff. He was like, oh, sorry, like I thought this turned you on. Like I knew you were into drag. I was like, I'm not into drag like that. Like I'd rather be the woman, and like you look like Hannah Montana in 50 years. So I'm not prepared for this. So he goes back in and comes out still naked and was like, all right, well, I'm ready to get tucked in now. I said, okay. So he lays in a bed and I go to put the covers over him and he grabs my arm and like pulls me a little bit. Now I'm freaking the fuck out. I was ready to like, you know, take his ass out like in one whop and like, but he like grabs me and I'm like drunk and like freaking out. Like he whispers in my ear and he says, I will pay you $5,000 if you have sex with me. Now, if you see to my dilemma, $5,000 is a lot of money. I will say that I did contemplate it. I will not say yet if I did it or not, but I contemplated it for a minute and I said, would I want to have sex with this man who just came out butt naked looking like Hannah Montana in 40 years after like she sat in the sun for 20 minutes? Or do I want to go home and be broke? So I kind of pulled back a little bit and I thought about it for a second and I was like, okay, if you're in my shoes, $5,000 is a lot of money. I mean, come on, like that could literally buy me a new car. So I was very conflicted, but the good Christian inside of me was like, I can't do it. I'm not attracted to you. I can't. I tell him that and he looks at me and he goes, let me get close to y'all. He leans in and tells me, if you put the wig and the heels on, I'll pay you 10 grand. You. Now I'm thinking, girl, like I could put a wig on these little Debbie shoes and I could get 10 grand and pay off half my fucking school loan. I was like, this is the best deal ever. But again, the good Christian inside me was like, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. And I left. I got into my car and I drove a little bit where it's safe. I did drive. I know, did I learn anything? This was a while ago. And I slept in a parking lot, which honestly is very dangerous to do in New Orleans, but I did it. And I woke up and I drove back home and I never talked to the man again. Never saw him. And it was a very awkward situation. I seen a lot. I was told a lot and I didn't want to do it. But I got $400 out of the whole experience. So if you're ever seeking arrangements, just don't do it. But that's my story. That was the story at the time. That was the time that I had a sugar daddy and he offered me 10 grand to sleep with him in a wig. So I am gonna go. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment on this YouTube channel. Tell me what you would do if you were in the same position. If a lot of y'all say that y'all would take the money, you should have saw the image. All right, well, goodbye.